Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today is my decorating vlog. So I was so excited to start decorating. I'm wearing my Hello Kitty Christmas shirt and this Christmas sweater. Both were thrifted earlier this year. And you know, it's Christmas season starting when I'm getting out my Mrs. Meyer's peppermint dish soap and hand soap. I also use the spray cleaner. It smells so amazing. I look forward to that every year. Also making myself a peppermint mocha, feeling super festive. I got this candy cane coffee from my local grocery store, and I've loved this hot chocolate for a few years, but I just discovered this year they have a sugar-free version, so I've been doing like 1 scoop of each. Of course, I have to put some Christmas music on too, so I really like the classic Christmas station on Sirius, so that's what I was put on that day. I just use an old phone that's connected to my record player to play it loud. So, and now I'll show you the candles that I got. I got these a few weeks earlier. I'd had a really hard time finding fall candles, so when we saw these Christmas candles, like a couple weeks before Halloween even, I think, John was like, why don't you just go ahead and get whatever you want. So these ones in the mason jars were only $5, and I actually regret not getting more of them because that's pretty cheap for a candle, and they smell so good. I was specifically looking for a candy cane candle. This vanilla one isn't necessarily Christmas, but it's that really good vanilla that smells like frosting, and I like burning that with like the candy cane or even like the pine. I did end up finding these 2 smaller candy cane candles that I had already purchased. I guess I just forgot about it. It must have been like after Christmas last year. And then these are the candles that I really like. They sell them at my grocery store, but they are $16, and compared to the $5 ones, I could have just got more of the $5 ones. But they did have like very cute holiday ones. I think they have very cute like illustrations on them. They had probably 10 different scents, but I wasn't that interested in a lot of them. This caramel gingerbread one though sounded really good and smelled good, and then the buttered rum also, but I love the little illustrations on them. I think they're really cute, so I only ended up getting 3 of those, but yeah, they probably had 10 different ones. They didn't have a candy cane one though, which surprises me. I feel like that's quintessential Christmas scent, but this crackling hearth one smells like a fire burning, and it's so nice. We've been burning that one in the basement because we have a little fireplace down there, a little electric one, so it's definitely a vibe. But I was very excited, so I decided to burn this one first, and it did make the house smell really nice. I have an insane amount of Christmas bins and decorations that sometimes it feels overwhelming, so I do decorate a lot the same though every year, like since we've moved in here. So I got started on an area that I knew I was going to decorate the same. I made this wreath probably 5 years ago. I made it before we moved in this house, but I used to actually make Christmas wreaths a lot and sell them, but I haven't done it in a few years. And so I was going to work on the entryway first, so I always put that wreath in the entryway, and I think I've decorated the entryway almost identical every single year that we've lived here. I just like the way it turned out, so I just keep doing the same thing over and over again. I love this piece. This actually isn't for the entryway. I must have just stuck it in this bin. I forgot I had this actually, so I feel like it must have been a more recent pickup, but I love anything holly and berries. I feel like it's just timeless Christmas, so maybe I'll find some more pieces like this, but I do really love this. This is entryway stuff, and I think like bar stuff as well, because I do decorate our little like thing that I use for the bar, which is right here. I did get out my glasses that I love so much, so I've determined I have 4 large glasses, 3 small ones, and 4 mugs. So if I can find 1 more small glass, I'll be happy. But I just decorate this entryway wall. I have a box there already started for donation stuff too. But this isn't vintage, but it's like vintage inspired or meant to look vintage. This candy cane sign. I think I got this last year at one of the thrift stores we actually shop at. It's new though, they have new things, but it just goes perfectly with the rest of the things that I decorate with out there, so very excited. And then this little like plastic foliage. I have so much of this 70s, early 80s plastic foliage, and these candy canes I just recently showed when I was at the antique mall and said I had some. They did have red ribbon on them, but it was kind of tattered, so I had some vintage green flocked ribbon that was quite wide, so I cut it in half and then just rewrapped the candy canes with the green, and I actually like it a lot better than the original red, and it matches with the sign really well, and our walls in the hallway are actually, or the entryway are actually painted like a really light mint green, so it just, I don't know, I think it looks good together. So like I said, I just decorate the same way. So if you've been here for a while and you've watched any of my home decorating tours or anything, it looks the same as it did in past years. I just like the way it turned out, so I don't see a reason to change it. But I love this little plastic, I think it's from the 70s with the snowman on the swing. And I have this little boot candle, and then more plastic foliage stuff. I don't know. I just like it. It's the stuff that reminds me the most of my like childhood Christmases. And then still in this bin, I've got Christmas candles for the windows. So I have 3 of these red ones with the plastic foliage on it. So I put those in the front window. It's actually like 3 separate panes of glass in our front window. I have this tray that I usually put on the bar. I also have a matching ashtray. I don't actually think these things are vintage though. People think they are. I don't. I think they're made to look vintage, but they're not actually vintage. The nutcrackers are also not vintage, but my grandma did give them to me. She has a big collection and she was downsizing, so she asked if I wanted a couple, so they're special to me now. And then here's my lantern. I paid $3 for this, which is crazy. I think I got this in 2017, and so by now you've already seen the videos that I've been posting recently about like shopping at the antique mall, and so you've seen that I did get another one of those. Here I filmed this before that happened, so I was kind of thinking, oh, I'd like to get another one, and then it ended up happening. That's why it's kind of, it's very cool. If you've been watching those videos, you know that I found a lot of things that have been on my wish list for a long time, so very happy. But I usually put the nutcrackers over on the bar, and then I just pulled out some. We actually like never drink at all. I think that I had one drink in the summer, and the last time I had a drink was last Christmas. But so I guess it's really the time when we would have a drink. I still haven't had a drink yet this season, but I do like this peppermint vodka, and I mix it with this mint Kahlua, and I mix it with eggnog actually, and it's so good. But sometimes we also drink gin with like Christmas punch. Those are really the only 2 things that I usually drink, but we do have this salted caramel Kahlua that John likes. So John also got this blackberry flavored gin that he likes, so just put that out because that would probably go with the Christmas punch as well. But I just stuck some of the Christmas glasses in there, and then I do have a backup bottle. I always get afraid that they're not going to make the candy cane vodka, so I usually get an extra one, but now I have 2 full ones, so I don't think I'll bother looking for it this year. But I think it looks cute. Well, if I'm just covering the vacuum that I had out, but if you just ignore the vacuum, I think it looks cute. I also put like the peppermint like candy cane striped candles in my candle holders. So now we've got wreaths and miscellaneous we're looking into. I actually had forgot that I made this wreath, but I think I made it a couple years ago. I think I might have filmed a video on it too. These were vintage bulbs. I bought a bunch of sets of the bulbs, but most of them were like burnt out. So I just kept them, and then I thought I should do something with these. So I added glitter to the part that would normally screw in and just turn them into this wreath. But yeah, I think I did make a video on this. I have another video that's quite popular about making wreaths with vintage ornaments, which I love. I do still have those wreaths, but I didn't put them out. I don't think I put them out last year, and I don't think I put them out I didn't put them out so far this year. I've been thinking about it, but I'm not sure. They're very delicate, and I don't know. I love them, but I'm also like so scared of them breaking. But anyway, I usually just hang that one in the stairway going downstairs, and I do have these magazines that I cherish so much. I put them out on the coffee table every year. I'm hoping that they'll do some other like I want them to do one on White Christmas, which maybe they have and I missed it. I don't know. I haven't really looked either, so it's possible they have one out now. This little plastic foliage wreath, I pretty much always buy these when I see them, although I do have enough now that I might pass on them, but I just love them. Like I said, this kind of stuff reminds me so much of childhood Christmases. And then a couple years ago, I made these wreaths out of plastic ornaments, and I just stuck these little like knee hugger elves in there. I think one of them is a vintage one and one is newer, but I usually just put those next to the picture in the living room over the couch. I just have some Christmas tins, and then I think I found this last year, this Norman Rockwell like coffee table book Christmas. I still have to get that tag off. That's one of my biggest pet peeves, is some of the tags that the stores use are so sticky. It's so hard to get them off. I do have some glue on though, so I might have to use that. But I love a good coffee table book, but a Christmas coffee table book is even better. So that bin was pretty easy to empty out, and we're going into the miscellaneous section. I would say most of my Christmas decorations go in the living room, but I do decorate in the living room and dining room as well, and the basement. I love my little plastic canvas Merry Christmas sign. I always hang that up there. So I just use little clear command hooks, which I just leave up all year. You can barely notice them. I just feel like it's easier to leave them up, so I have to get up on a chair to do that though. And then a lot of what's in here goes on my bookshelves, like these plastic foliage trees. I actually saw these when I was in the antique mall too, but I already have 3, so I felt like, I think I actually saw this exact one. I already have 3, so I felt like I probably didn't need to get any more, but then I have these plastic foliage poinsettias. These were only 99 cents a piece. Like, I feel like I got so lucky when I did. I leave the prices on a lot of the things that I get so that I can like know how much I paid for it, but I just feel like I got so lucky in probably 2016, 2017, 2018, which is when I found a lot of this stuff for like just a couple dollars a piece, because now I see it and it is so much more money than that, especially the blow molds that I think I'm probably going to show you. So I was unsure about the not the fireplace. I was unsure about the bookshelf and then this shelf situation because I didn't have that shelf before, but Here's a blow mold that I got, I think in 2017. I think it says $2, which I've seen this exact same one for 50, 60, 70. So exciting. And I got that one, but I also have another one. It doesn't light up though. It's actually a bank, and I'm pretty sure this one was also $2. So very, also I think a 2017 find. I think if you go back to the beginning of my channel, so maybe 2018, I'm sure some of these things, like I showed in thrift hauls at the very beginning. But yeah, I like leaving the prices on. I didn't leave the price on this Noel candle, but I know it was less than $5, and it was probably the 2017, 2018 find. But I love it so much, and I was wanting another one of those, and I did come across one in the antique store, but I had already spent a lot of money on other things, so I just decided not to get it, because like I still had to go to the antique mall at that point, and I didn't know what I was going to see over there. So, but if I'm in the area again and they still have it, then maybe, or if they have it next year. I got this vintage inspired pillow cover. I think I got this from Amazon. I think Amazon has actually a lot of really cute sets of pillow covers that are vintage inspired. That I feel like that's a really easy way to add little vintage touches to your home, because it's really inexpensive and it looks cute, but it also doesn't take up a lot of space. And if you're just covering pillows you already have, then it's not so bad. And then this snowman, I think I posted this on my Instagram and asked if it was creepy or cute. People are very divided. I feel like it's both creepy and cute depending on how I look at it. It also plays music, which I feel like adds to the creepy factor. I didn't realize it played music though until it randomly started playing music, which was very creepy. So there's the ashtray in my hand that I was talking about before. In the last couple of years, specifically last year, I spent a lot of time when I was packing up my Christmas decor to really get it organized. So like I even put the extension cords I need in the bin, and I have a lot of timers that I plug everything into so that the lights will come on. I've like labeled all of my timers and everything. So I bought this organizer from Amazon, I think last year, for my ornaments, and it has been a complete game changer and was totally worth the money. In the next, I had way too much footage for one video. So in the next video, I decorate my tree. And so you'll get to see a better look at that. But I even took the time to wrap up all the lights because they would always be all tangled. And I labeled, if it was working or if it needed the lights changed. This is my little, it's sort of a tree skirt, but not actually, because it doesn't go around the tree. The tree just sits on it. I actually don't really like tree skirts, though, that go over the bottom. I don't know. I've never really liked it. And this is the styrofoam I used to set up my little Christmas village, but I just ended up doing something different this year, which I think might be in the next video, or maybe that's in this video. I don't remember. Marley could hear all of the goings on. She was not happy, so she needed to come check out what was going on. So cute. I think this was my very best find last Christmas season. I think this was $3.99 if I'm not mistaken in Value Village. I definitely found it in a video, I do remember that, but it's an amazing shape. So amazing. Can't believe I found that for that cheap. So now I've got, the bookshelf was stressing me out a little, so I just focused on the other areas. But this is how I set this tray up every year. It just happened that that little crocheted thing fit in there perfect. And then I have 2 of the poinsettias, so I just put 1 on each end table, and then the wreaths and the pillow. I really like the way that it looks. It's like subtle, but it's what I would call like more realistic vintage. I decided to take a break from the living room, and I was very pleasantly surprised. This bin was labeled kitchen, but it was actually all of the basement stuff, because I'd been wondering where that was, because I didn't see a bin labeled for the basement. So I must have just, I don't know, something must have happened there, but I do put a tree up in the basement, which that's in my next video as well, but I was happy to find that. But I decided to move on to the kitchen because there isn't a ton of stuff for my kitchen, really, just this one bin. Most of what I have for the kitchen is just dishes, so I was filling up the sink to wash those while I did some other things. But these dishes are not vintage, but they're so cute. I loved them so much. I think I got them in 2012, but I haven't really been using them, so I'm debating on whether I should keep them or sell them. They're actually really hard to find, because at one point I wanted to find more of them, and so looking on eBay, they're like very expensive to get more, so I could probably sell the ones that I have and then maybe use that money to get something else. Actually, I use Corelle dishes like in my everyday dishes, and I just love them so much because they're nice and thin and they fit in the cupboard really well, and so that's why I think I lean against using these ones. So I've been kind of wanting, I think I mentioned this in the Antique Mall video, I've been wanting to get Corelle like Christmas dishes, and I would just use those and they would fit in the cupboard nice, so I might end up doing that at some point. They are so cute though, so that's what makes me want to hang on to them, but especially those tall mugs. I haven't used those for years and years because I just don't prefer to drink from a tall mug. But I have 2 small plates and 2 big plates, 2 mugs, and then 2 like soup mugs. The soup mugs are actually probably what I use the most of, but and I have a couple other mugs. People always ask me where I got this mug. I thrifted it and there is no like label or anything on the bottom, so I have no idea at all. But then this one was actually in my mom's apartment after she passed away. I had to clean out her apartment and I saw that and I thought I would keep it. And then I think last year, the year before, John and I found there's another one somewhere. I think I might find it later. We just got those at some random store. And then I have these are what we drink water out of, these frosty glasses, which I love, but, and I find this with all, just the quality of goods is so shitty these days. The like prints on them just come off very easily, and it just makes me so mad. I have these other Snoopy glasses that I use every day to drink water out of, and then the same thing happens to those, but yet I have some from the 70s that are still perfectly intact. So it's obviously some different thing that they do now with glasses. I just wish that things were more durable these days and not so, I don't know, crappy. I also have some salt and pepper shakers. I have like Santa and Mrs. Claus, and then these little gingerbread men, which these kind of remind me of like German gingerbread men. I don't know. I have these two, which I ended up getting rid of those, and I have these little gingerbread men. I actually bought these. They're not vintage. Well, actually, a lot of people think 20 years is vintage, so we could call these vintage because I bought them in 2004. I would not call them vintage, but they've just been with me for so long that I just keep them. My grandma actually decorates her kitchen in gingerbread, and so now I have a lot of gingerbread things in there, kind of as like a, I don't know, like a special thing with her. And my mom actually bought John and I these magnets with our names on them the first Christmas we were together, so 2004. And then the other little Santa face is just a magnet that we had on my fridge when I was growing up, and I saw it in a thrift store and just had to have it. And then yeah, this gingerbread nightlight, I thrifted as well. But then when I went to my grandma's house, she actually had the same one in her kitchen, so I thought that was really cute that we had the same one. So I usually plug that in over here because all the other outlets in the kitchen are usually blocked by an appliance. The bulb, it was actually burnt out on it though, so it didn't turn on. And I've got timers in here as well because I put candles in the windows in the kitchen as well. And then in the midst of all that, I realized that's where the other mug was that I talked about earlier. Usually drink tea out of these, but it's a sloth wearing a Christmas sweater. It's very cute. And then I have this little gingerbread teapot that actually you burn wax melts in. I thrifted that as well quite a few years ago. I never really burn the wax melts though, because I never find any wax melts. Maybe I should try Walmart, they might have some. So the gingerbread men I put up there last year, but I've changed that around since last Christmas, so I'm gonna have to like find somewhere else to put those. I think I ended up putting them over the stove, but I just put my little Christmassy ones up there. And then yeah, I did decide to get rid of these ones. To be honest, I've been like wanting to downsize a lot, but I don't know. I always like feel that way, and then I think, well, I should wait till next year and see how I feel. So I actually had a really difficult time like decorating. There was a bunch of stuff going on in my life, and I've been feeling really depressed, and I don't know, that's why it took so long to do this. I thought I would get all this done in just a couple days, but it actually took weeks. So anyway, the last thing I had to do was put up these garlands, which I think makes it look pretty festive, and I put one up on the other side as well. And after I got all the dishes washed and everything, I did decide to just put these dishes away, like pack them back away for this time period right now. I put the 2 plates in there, but they're just so bulky. I just wasn't feeling it. So I just decided, I had already put the soup mugs away, like replaced them with the ones that I normally use. So I think I'll just keep those out. And I think a part of me might just want to keep those soup bowls, because then like those are the pieces I actually use, and then I could sell the other pieces and then maybe use the money to get some Corelle Christmas dishes. And then I just replaced the plate that's normally in the cake stand is this one, which I love. I replaced that with the plate that I bought in the like China shop quite a few years ago now, I think. I love it so much. It's just, that's the only thing I bought in the whole store. All the china that I was looking for, they didn't have, which is very weird because it's an entire store dedicated just to china patterns. But my little mugs with the doves on them that I love so much, I just put those over there. And I do drink tea out of those a lot too. I feel like they're the perfect size for tea. So then I was moving into the dining room. The dining room I decorate pretty much the same every year as well, so it doesn't take too long. So the styrofoam church I saved from the trash. Actually, my work saved it. I used to work in a thrift store. They saved it for me because they kind of thought I might want it after a previous incident. I love this. It is in extremely rough shape. The top was broke off, but I fixed it with some toothpicks. It just kind of sticks back on. This is the kind of vintage thing that makes my heart happy. And this is also the kind of thing that I feel like most people think is ugly and tacky and like would never get shown on social media or like Instagram or something, because it's not like the aesthetic that people think of when they think of vintage. But that styrofoam church that I got for free that was destined for the trash is like the ultimate vintage vibe for me, and I'm so happy that they didn't throw it away. So this angel right here was going to get thrown out, and I saved it from the trash. It was in really rough shape. It's actually a tree topper, and it had lights on it that were burnt out. Like, she had 2 lights in her hands that were almost like candles, but they were completely black. And the dress and the wings, the hair was all like, it looked like trash, but I was like, there's no way we can throw this away. I will take it. So I cut out all the lights and got them out of her hands. I glued her dress down to the bottom base part so that it would stay down. I mean, it still looks a little rough, but like, I love it, and I can't believe that they would have thrown that away. Had I not been there, it would have been in the trash. And so I switched to listening on this day. I was listening to the Dolly Parton Kenny Rogers Christmas record, which I love so much. I'm just listening to it on my phone, but I did find the record, I think last year, which some of you, if you were here, might remember. So on this little, this was like a vintage stereo, but I bought it without the stereo in it for $5, and I love it. It's one of my favorite vintage pieces. I just put this, like, what I call a runner over it, like Christmas material, but I think it's actually a curtain, but it's just what I use it for. And so I have this white ceramic tree, and then I have another one in this bin that my grandma gave me. It's not my grandma's actual tree, though. She gave hers away a long time ago, or sold it in a yard sale or something, but my mom, when my mom was still alive, she had been trying to find one for me because I had asked if my grandma still had hers. So my grandma knew that I wanted one. And then after my mom passed away, somebody gave her this one. And so she gave it to me, which was very sweet. So it's from my grandma, but not her actual tree. But I was very happy. This one's really large too, and it plays music. So I was setting the 2 of them up here, and I was thinking I'd really like to find one more tree, so then I could have like 3 of them on here. And of course, if you've been watching the videos I've been posting recently, you know that I did end up finding another one, so it's very, very exciting. But at this time, this was before I went out and did any of that shopping, so just had the 2. But I feel like the one that, if you didn't watch, the one that I found is actually almost identical to the one that my grandma used to have. So it reminds me a lot of my childhood and growing up. So it ended up working out really great. But for now, because I don't have the other tree, I just put this candle here. This is actually a leftover candle from last year, like cranberries, that I've been burning to use up before I light another one. So I just thought, well, I'll just put this candle over here. And then I decorate the top of my china cabinet with these things, and I do it the same way every year. And if you've been watching those videos, like I said, you'll know that I found 2 more of these like cardboard angels, which I end up putting up there. So I also have these 2 mini ceramic trees. I actually have 3 of them, but they were really damaged. I bought them on eBay years and years ago for like really, really cheap because they were damaged. I don't know, I have a thing for like damaged Christmas things or broken ornaments. I don't know, I just it didn't really bug me that much. So you'll see in my next video, because by the time I'm shooting all that footage, I have all my new stuff. So you'll see me like add to my decor with that. But I did find some lights for ceramic trees, so I do something with that. But yeah, I've just been putting the church up there, with the angels, and then I just put this garland. I actually super glued these to the top of the china cabinet, so they're always there, so it's nice and easy to just put up the garland. And then I have these plastic bells. I think the plastic bells were actually destined for the trash as well, or at least some of them were, because they were a little bit broken, but I was able to repair them in a way that was good enough for me to use them. So it was really hard to do this one-handed apparently while filming. But I just love it. I love garlands like this as well. It definitely also reminds me of my childhood. But yeah, I have a whole bunch of these bells. And I know that they did come, or at least most of them came from the thrift store I used to work at, but they have the plastic foliage on them. It's right up my alley. This is the vintage Christmas that I think about. So I love this, and I probably won't change it at all, except I did add some more angels up there. And so that's kind of what it looks like when it's all done up. And then in the china cabinet, I have a Christmas china that I put in there, but I don't think that I filmed that. And then I have this vintage nut bowl. My grandparents actually had the exact same one, which is super special. And then I just have those little candle holders. And then I put that jadeite bowl there for the nut shells and for candy wrappers. And I just empty it every couple days. It just makes it more convenient just to have a place to throw those things. So this setup always makes me happy because I can see it from the couch through the French doors in the living room while I'm sitting there, so it's kind of nice. So I'm taking a break with Marley, which is a great time to just end the video, and then I'll put together the rest of the footage into another video, and then I will probably make a video just like a Christmas house tour where I'm just showing you the final setup of everything. That will probably be a lot more condensed. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again soon.